Thank you for being a part for joining us today on Oche Kitchen discussion. I've had a few conversations or chats from people. Soccer, women, soccer, women, soccer. What have you got to say about soccer? We love love, we love relationships, we love every other thing. And we love soccer also. Personally, I'm not a soccer person. I don't talk football, as in the football as what football represents. But I think I recall when I was in primary school, that was many years ago, I was a female footballer for the school, within our school, little school community. And how I went off football is beyond me, and I don't even bother thinking about it. But again, it doesn't put out the fact that football is a unique game, and everybody talks about football. Football is being spoken about everywhere, anytime, any day. So whether people like me don't talk about it or not, it is still a topic for everyone, for the world. So let's look at today's show and find out what we think about football and how football goes. Starting with the Fifi's affirmation for this show is, my affirmation is, do not bite at the bait of pleasure till you know there is no hook beneath it. Do not bite at the bait of pleasure till you know there's no hook beneath it. I guess it's self-explanatory, and think about it. So be careful, watch before you leap. That's the simple version of it. All right. Number one question for today's show is, what effect does football have on the society? I think I'll be greedy. Let me say a bit about it. It has a huge effect. It has so many positive effects on the society. I'm narrowing it down to young people. Okay, now it's on both sides. Because of the success in football and how large that sport has gone in the world and how popular it is and how fun it is in the world, a lot of young people want to be footballers. And the downside to me, or for me, is that when you expect them to concentrate or channel their energy to academics, they get derailed and they lose focus on academics because everybody wants to be a footballer, given that most footballers are highly paid. So that's a negative effect, I would say, even though people could argue with me that who education, all those academics, what have they done with it? Whereas the footballers who are the professional footballers who are doing well are investing in charity, are doing one thing or the other and flourishing. It doesn't still put out the fact that there are some professional footballers who are not doing well or not being good representatives in the society. So moving on from there, Ike, can I ask you, what's your view? What effect does football have on the society?
Well, the way to answer that question would be, look at Nigeria. Nigeria typically is a dysfunctional, on a typical day, it's a dysfunctional country. What I mean is ethnicity, religion, name it, it's rife there. Nepotism, all those things are part of the hallmark of everything we see every day. But there's one thing that unifies Nigerians.
Yeah.
Football. Football is the only thing, or sports, let's put it that way, is the only thing that when they are playing, football being the most beloved sports that we know, Nigeria is playing, it is Nigerians. Everybody identifies as, especially when we're winning, everybody identifies as Nigerians. Even when we lose, we all cry together as Nigerians.
Yeah.
If you go to the stadium, you see a malam sitting beside a church, a pastor hailing a imam or an alpha. Yoruba City with FE. Nobody, the class, and nobody cares anymore about whether you are poor, you're rich, or you are from this ethnic coloration or religious. Everybody is rooting for the Super Eagles, Super Falcons, to the smallest under 17 to win anything. So when you look at that, it is a unifier. The only single unifier for Nigeria that I can see is sports, and it's football. So that's one very positive thing he has done. You talk about the other thing about the youths wanting to play football. Do you blame them? In a culture where the only way to get out of, even when you go to school, you can't get a job. A PhD holder can't get a job. A BSc holder can't get a job. If somebody who did OND, ND, they ended the job. And somebody is able to play football and lucky or face smiles
and hammer.
Yes, and the next thing, they are being sold to one European team, and within a couple of months, the parents are living in a upscale place. He's building a huge mansion. So, and you know one thing about our people flow with things they can see, right? And especially this one, at least they know the source. So this one is good. You know the source of this. We're quarreling with people who hammer money and we don't know their source. If somebody's playing European and is coming home to spend the money, that is good, because he's actually bringing the money by building in the village or building in the town. He's employing labor. His money is getting, going down, filtering down, and the economy is being improved. So that's a good plus generally.
So it's unifying.
Yes.
Unifies society, and again creates a good source of income for people.
Yes, it does. It does. But the only bad part of it,
the London
the only negative part I just want to point out is the part of the betting, the gambling, where people, when they poor, go and continue being poorer by hoping that they will hammer one day by the betting. The part of that side of it, where a husband who has bills to pay, he's a poor, he will take all his money that he gets, and go and bet, thinking that Arsenal or the Man U or whatever is going to win and all that, So that's the aspect where you can see it's a negative.
This betting is the same as pool, right?
Yes, it's pool. But we call it betting now. In those days, it was pool.
Do they still call it pool in Nigeria?
They still call it pool, but it's still pool. But it's now been a fancy name: Bet Nigeria, Bet King, all those kind of things.
Okay, that's what that's about.
And you still see somebody
but pound one from 4 is still there.
It's still there.
What's pound one from 4? That's the pool, isn't it?
Yes, where is the pool? Where you see the man waiting and be hitting, gashing his teeth that he missed by one. He just won. He caught by one. He caught by one. He's always cutting by one every week. So sometimes every week.
I don't know what that means.
Sometimes he wins a little bit. See, that's what the gambling does. Gambling is very addictive. It's very addictive. And unfortunately, a lot of people are back home, especially in the poor class. That's what I'm talking about. Those who
again, what you just said, not totally. Betting does not only sit with football. It sits with horse racing as well.
Yes, no, it sits with every sport. But I'm talking like in Nigeria, the main thing they bet on is football.
Football.
We're not talking about, the main thing they bet on is football. It's their main bet, right? Because it's the one they know very well. If you go to Nigeria and be talking about horse racing, the person will be looking at you like, horse racing? Like, they don't understand what that, like, if I'm talking about Kentucky.
No, if you're talking, the horse racing is in Nigeria, but it's more noticed in the north.
Well, yes, because the north, they do polo. Okay, so that's that could be that. But what I'm talking about is that the average Nigerian, the main concern is football. It's whether Arsenal won.
Football.
You won. That's it. So, but my only problem with that, like I said, is that it is more endemic, because the people in poverty want to uplift themselves, and they're looking for the shortest way to do that. Okay, example in point. A young boy, about 2 months ago, a young apprentice boy won 8 million. He bet maybe 600 naira, and he won 8 million naira. Then, you see, the problem was he won, but the next point was that his boss, Oga, now said he has to split the money into 2 and give him 4 million and collect 4 million, or as the case may be.
I'm not going to give him more.
Well, but after the market people start, they agree with the boss. They force the guy.
No. The boy no get family.
Most of these apprentices, guess where they're coming from? They're coming from
No matter what. I played a game of 600 naira and won 8 million. Oga, it's not your money, it's my money.
I agree with you 100%. But I'm telling you what happened. What is reality? What is real and what is reality? Or what's ideal and what is reality is different. You know, because the boy has to be the one that will live there, that will trade there, that will do business there. So you have to think about those things, because 8 million might sound huge, but it's not, especially in Nigeria, it's not a very huge amount of money when you start spending it.
Thank you very much, Ike. Ben, before you joined, we've talked about, for me, the first question is what's the effect of football in the society? For me, in as much as it's a beautiful thing that creates income and fame, that I've seen how that has distracted a lot of young people from facing academics. Okay.
Well, football, urban football. Now, only time when Nigeria they play, they watch match.
So, what do you think is the effect of football on the society, both negative or positive? What do you think?
Well, the positive side is so many downtrodden now. They've made so much hell of money by playing soccer, by playing football. They've made, so like the disadvantage, like what you just said, some of them don't go to school again. They don't care about the school. Because you even see some parents that will say, what is the need of sending the child to school while he can play football? One day his luck will shine and all those years will be a thing of the past. So I think the most distracting thing there is that it makes them not to be focused. Education-wise, babash. Nobody does anything again, education-wise. Like if you hear people like Mobi Okparaku them, Kanu Nwankwo them, Jejo Okocha them, a lot of them didn't want to further their education because they know how to play football and they made money. So since they made money, so they might decide to go back to school. But how many persons will decide to go back to school after that, making that money? I don't know how many of them will decide to go back to school. In as far as Nani will tell you, well, the best thing is, and you know, the culture where we are coming from, money rules.
Yeah.
That you're educated, that you're a professor and you have no money, forget it. You are just like an ordinary person.
And you have plenty of money.
But if you're a footballer and you have money, oh boy, before they will keep the chair for you. Even the professor wants to sit there. They will tell the professor to stand up from there.
Very
so
true.
That's those are some of the side effects. Those guys, okay, like now I know there are some of my my mates, my younger ones in the village. When I was going to secondary school, they went to learn trade. Today, those boys that learn trade, they have so much money. So if somebody said, I'm not going to secondary school, I'm not going to university, I want to keep playing this football, and Sunday, luck will shine on me. You see all those years you think he wasted. When he hammers the sign-on fee of 15,000 pounds. Your pounds is hard money.
Hard currency, Egigwe.
It's Egigwe. So when the guy gets that sign-on fee and immediately buys a Benz and changes his parents' life, you see the attitude of people in the society around them will change. Thinking about we didn't go to school.
Look at this boy from Ohaji Egbema. What's his name again? Emmanuel. What's his name?
Which one?
Emmanuel.
There is this boy they call Emmanuel. He's from Ohaji Egbema. From a very poor home. But when he was signed in Europe, bros, the father's life, the entire family life changed. Everybody, both extended relation or direct sibling, or their lives changed.
Okay.
So it has its own advantage and coupled with its own disadvantages.
Yeah.
Because
If it's those people that,
if I may come in chip in there, the disadvantage there has always been, one, many of these young people make a lot of money, but because they don't have the basic financial knowledge, many of them also lose a lot of money.
Yeah, they lose a lot of money. Yeah.
When they finish their soccer life, many of them, because of not a lot of times, because they don't have that residual knowledge, they make very bad investments. And at the end of the day, when you see them, they are poor. You've had players who left to play in Europe, made a lot of money, and then next thing you hear in Nigerian media is they are publishing the guy, he's sick bed, no money to take him to hospital, and you're wondering, but he played in Europe for many years.
You know the problem. Mm-hmm. The problem is that at that prime time they have that money, they live a wastage life.
Yes. Not just a wasted life, they also made some bad decisions with their money. Because the point is this.
I don't think some of them make bad decisions, but my problem is they live a wastage life.
You have to agree.
You see some of them going to buy cars worth billions.
Listen, Bessie, let me give you an example.
That billion is no investment.
In NBA, what the NBA started doing, after a while, the NBA started doing this. NBA started doing that rookies that are into the NBA, they make sure that all of them have to attend a financial knowledge, business knowledge, whatever.
My brother, you are talking about Obodo Yibo.
No. I'm just telling you. I'm talking about the fact that they were doing this to protect the young ones, to at least give them that basic knowledge to make some nice investments that will last them after they keep playing. The same thing.
Financial education.
Yes. So they give them training to say, you know what, because you see a lot of money coming out.
One second. Come, just go ahead. Let me get ticket and put on this card before I name ticket.
But you find out that the NBA did that because what happened was that these young people will come. You're coming from a very poor home, and then all of a sudden you are getting money thrown left, right, and center at you. Of course, normally you go gaga. You know what I mean? So what they did was to try and give these guys some educational, solid financial advice and education to be able to help them. They won't control your money, but they're able to help you make some better decisions as per when it comes to money. The same thing as you find out that, but soccer doesn't do that. And if you don't, somebody who is from a poor background, when they finally get money, there's always a tendency that they may go overboard with it. There's always a tendency to live the lavish life, pack all the women you want. You know what I mean? Because now you have money. Of course, the guy attracted to money. Then, spend it lavishly and all that. But some of them who actually, and that's why you see some of them actually went to school. Some of them will finish school. The other day, this boy went and graduated. But two of them actually,
footballer.
Yes, the footballer. They went and graduated. If you watch those ones and their life, you could see that they might be making a better position to make a better decision with their money. Because when you're a first person, know that the amount of time you have to make money is limited. By the time you hit 30, 31, 32, you are done.
You'll be retiring, yeah.
Yeah, you're retiring because you can't earn that much anymore. Forget that Ronaldo and all those will still earn a lot of money, but it's a diminishing return in sports. So if you don't manage that money you make in those productive years is what's going to last you. So that's why Kano Wanko has hotel. He built. He's invested in hotels. He's invested in real estate and all that. Those are things that people who he has good advisors who are advising him to do these things, or he kind of told himself, I don't know which one, but either way, if you get the wrong advice, what I mean by bad investment is people will give you a land, because when you have money, people will come with so many ideas.
Yeah. You
don't know anything about restaurant, running a restaurant, you gotta open a restaurant just because you hear somebody saying restaurant gives money. Those kind of ideas. Meanwhile, you don't know how to run it. Yeah, the restaurant gives money, but if you don't run it well, it will ruin you. So you find out that many of these young ones, they make money. But if they don't have the ground, the solid foundation, that money will
to sustain your wealth.
Yes, it's gone. And like I said, you have only a limited time to make that money. You can't play football forever. So when you have that money, you invest that money, invest it in a very good, solid way, it lasts you. It's like a pension. it keeps, give you a dividend. But if you don't, let me give you an example. Allen Iverson, he was one of the top stars in the NBA. Google him. He made millions of money. Where is he now? He's almost broke. Tyson made a lot of money. He's broke. Evander Holyfield was a world champion. He made so much. His mansion in Atlanta was so huge. You can't believe it. But what? He declared bankruptcy. He lost all the money because it's easy for you to see that number of zeros in your account. But when they begin to diminish, you might not notice it. And next thing you are broke. So that's what happens with sports. That's the negative side of it. Okay. So it's good to have the money.
You know why they are broke?
Yes.
They live ostentatious life.
We're still saying the same thing. We're still saying the same thing. You can live an ostentatious life, but make good decisions. Let me tell you something. Michael Jordan, he dresses well, he lives the best houses and all that, but he made good, solid decisions. That helped him, that continued to propagate him. He got into a deal, long-term deal with Nike, right? So money is always coming. LeBron James makes almost $90 million just every day, just because he's with Nike.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods hasn't won any tournament for a number of years now, since his wife caught him cheating and tried to break his head. The guy hasn't won anything except the Masters after that time. But apart from that, he hasn't, but his money keeps rolling in. We're talking about daily ching-ching, right? That's what we're talking about. That's what makes wealth. That you are comfortable in such a way that you don't ever have to work in your life again, but money keeps coming in.
Financial education and knowing when to invest and where to invest.
Don't want to invest because let me tell you something.
I think understanding that football is not a career that it's long-lived.
That's what I told you. It's very short-lived. That's why you can start playing football at 20.
Any other person,
By the time you are 30, you are almost done. So that 10 years, you have to make all the money you can. That's why people sign those mega contracts and they bond, they get all those deals with all this, sports, whatever, to make as much money. But the problem is, yes, you can make all that money. If you don't invest it well, you'll be back to square one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move on to to the next question. Okay. The next question, obviously, is: does football bring families together? Do you think so? Do you think it does?
Well, it all depends. It all depends.
Exactly. From my family, it doesn't bring anybody together. I don't like football. So no matter how you place it,
it's just like the way it's like Ike is Chelsea, the wife is Arsenal.
Yes, no, I'm Arsenal. My wife is Man U. Okay. So it's a problem. Okay, it's a big problem because
if you play Man U, play with Arsenal, and God help you, your own team win. Wahala day. That house no gonna enter you.
It scatters the family more or less.
No, it doesn't really scatter the family because the fact still remains that you understand that it's sports. But generally speaking, sports is supposed to be a unifier. See, for men, it's very refreshing especially for African men. Let me just put it that way. It's very refreshing if you get a woman that enjoys watching sports with you. Not just sports, watch soccer with you.
Yeah. Most
times, when a man is watching soccer and the wife is not into it, she's busy asking, "Who is that player? Why did he play that way? Why did he do that?"
And that's a distraction for you.
And the man gets pissed off because at that point he doesn't want to. He's already tired watching the game because you don't know anything about the game. You are busy asking those questions and he's irritated, and then the quarrel starts. You know what I'm saying? But if you are into the game, you know the players even more than he does. I've seen women who are into soccer. They know the players more than you. They can analyze the game. And you see they enjoy watching with their husband. They even abandon everything to watch with them.
Ify,
all the time together.
Ify.
Yes.
I gotta go inside. I get eye examination appointment.
That's fine, Ben.
But I'll still be talking from inside there. By time I'll still be talking inside there.
Okay then. Yeah.
So
clearly it doesn't actually, because for me, like I said, it doesn't matter how you place football. put it on a chocolate, put it in a glass of wine. It doesn't really matter for me. I am not a football fan, and I am not interested in football. I'm not interested in football at all. So football is a no-no for me. It will not bring us together because I don't know what you're doing. It's just like one of my friends said recently, that football is just like watching grown men run around the field.
you see, that's the thing we're talking about. You see, when you have that kind of impression,
I like that, yeah.
Unifying thing, right? Because let's say, for example, I don't like watching Housewives of any of those shows, those silly shows, or Dancing with the Stars and all that. I don't like watching it. Now, if, for example, your wife or your better half likes watching those shows, when you come and sit there, you're irritated. You know, it's not going to make for any unity. So most times, the guy will just leave. So, you know, because he's not enjoying that piece. So it all depends. It's a matter of, for harmony's sake, sometimes it's good to also try to enjoy the other person's key into the other person's
what they like.
Yes, what they like. Key into it. For both parties, both men and women. Try and key into the other person. It might not. Yes, it's something you have to force yourself to do, but key into it. Try a little bit key into it, because that causes a little bit of harmony. It also gives something to talk about, you know, because, you know, as couples, when you stay together for a while, you really find out that sometimes there's nothing to go, unless somebody's gossiping about somebody or whatever. You might not find out that there's nothing really to talk about, but some of those things kind of serve to bring a little bit of unity.
Yeah.
But like I said, it can also cause disunity and chaos.
Okay, let's hear from the ladies. We have Chi there. Chi, Ade, and Winnie. Anyone can go first. Chi?
What question are you asking?
Ade, yeah, do you agree? Do you think that football brings family together? I know you love football.
I don't really know. I'm a football fan and I support Arsenal. I have 4 boys. Gunners. We're ruling now. Anyway, I have 4 boys, and I enjoy football. My husband supports Chelsea. My second son, my second son supports me. Me and him are Arsenal in the house.
Yes.
Then the first son, the third, support their dad. The baby, he's 8 years old. He doesn't even have a clue what's happening. So, you know, so when Arsenal and Chelsea, I like Chelsea. You know, I don't have any issues against them. The one I hate is Manchester United.
Oh, so,
so yeah. So my husband, when we're playing with Chelsea, when we're not playing, I do support Chelsea. But when we're playing together, see how no food in this house.
No food in the house. That's it.
Yeah, you know, so if
so that's a typical example of where football this how do I put it?
But
this is problem in the family. When you have
don't you find out that it's a good feeling that you have, that you share that passion.
It brings families together, and it can be as a social worker. When you know you have fanatics, when there is a football, I know what they carry domestic violence cases during Premier League. Like this World Cup now. Yes, we do, my dear. Weekend the next day they be on the phone. So we are very scared. Like this World Cup about England lose. We were just ready to accept cases. And we did accept you. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah.
So when they I'm telling you.
People break their
I'm telling you.
When all that, people break TV screens because of a match.
So we're always getting DV cases when there's Premier League. But now nothing happens. This England one was worst. We had few DV cases. So some people, you know, and some women will tell you when it's that time, they try to avoid their husband not to stand in their way.
Yes.
You know, so I've never had that experience, but I'm saying from other people, some people are very, you know, it's bad.
Yeah.
You know, more especially when the wife does not support the same club, or when this man is just, you know, people that cannot control their emotions on the bonnet or football, you know.
Yes.
So it can bring, and it can still bring.
It can cause a lot of problems.
Cause chaos in a family.
Bring people together.
Yeah.
Yeah, personally, like I said, even though I've got a child who likes football, he likes playing, but funny enough, he's not crazy about watching others play. Does that not concern people that love football? We'll say to him, how come you're always out there doing your training, always everything about his football? But when football, you won't see him logging on the television to watch leagues. I don't know why. I really don't know.
It's not, well, it's peculiar anyway. Let me just say that it's peculiar anyway, but it could also be his own, way of doing things. You have to understand that not everybody will want to do just because they participate in one thing. Do they like to?
Yeah. If I'm a jumper, your son is
Yeah.
like that. He supports Arsenal. Yeah, any ball, Ronaldo, Bobo, but jumper will never get. He doesn't have a kit. Or that,
Really?
It's only James and Danny.
Yeah, that's the opposite. Yeah.
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 You see, he
But
will watch.
But he will not play it. So,
He will not play, but he
This
will watch.
person loves playing, but he's not keen on watching.
He will not play.
Yeah.
That has a son that plays for Aston Villa.
Mm-hmm.
His son doesn't like to watch football.
Why?
He's a footballer.
I tell you, I find it strange.
He started with the junior team. Now he's in the senior team, but he doesn't watch football.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so it's normal.
Yeah.
Except if it's training, if it has to do with training football, he might watch it because that is to help him improve his skills. But some people just don't, just like sit down for, patients to sit down and watch it. So it's not strange. It's just their nature.
Okay. It's
the fact that you see people who are fanatic about football, but they never played a game a day in their life. They never kicked the ball, but they're so fanatic about watching it.
Yeah, thank you. Faith, do you think, Faith, are you there? I don't know if you're at work. Winnie, are you available to talk? Yeah. Now, I was asking, do you think football brings families together?
Yeah.
And if you want to talk about any effects of football on the society.
Oh, okay, is it for me, Faith, right?
Yeah, for Faith.
Okay, there's so much noise there, but I hope you can hear me.
We can,
okay?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Okay, hold on. Let me see.
Does football bring families together?
Yeah. Football brings families together. I've seen that a lot. Those are the positive sides. It brings people together. It brings enemies together. I've seen that a lot. I want to give an example. In 1996, Atlanta 96, Nigeria was selling Brazil also, I think. I know some people can really remember them. We were playing against Brazil. We had some people. I had someone we used to go to a place to watch the match. So there was someone I was not talking with that period. So when Nigeria won Brazil, wow, everybody was hugging themselves. I saw myself hugging the person that I don't talk to before. Okay, yeah. So that's the good aspect. Then they have the negative aspect too. Negative aspect about football too. You see people take it as I said, diehards, the fanatics. You see all sort of things. So I mean, yeah, that's the good side. It brings nations together. It brings it brings the world together. But the other side too, it has its own side effects. But the side effects is very little compared to the positive sides football brings the world. Right?
Yep.
Discrimination. We've now mentioned discrimination, direct discrimination as a result of the football team you support. Is it very common amongst football fans or fanatics?
Yeah. Those are the side effects, the downside, discriminations and all that. But believe me, the positive side of football, it's far outweighed compared to the negative side. Negative side, like maybe 10 or 2%. See the world coming together, the world nations, countries, presidents sitting down watching football. Do you know what it is?
It's a unifier. I guess talked about that earlier. It's a unifier.
Yeah.
But the point to the question you asked, if discrimination, if someone who's an Arsenal fan was to go to Liverpool area and they know he's a Liverpool fan, obviously if he's looking for a job there, he's not going to get a job there because
really,
yeah, well, most likely he might not. If he's going to a fanatic, somebody who's a fanatic, you know what I mean? So football is a unifier, like my brother said. it's some of the side effects of football. And we've seen discrimination on the field itself. Okay.
Yeah,
when
we know that.
Canada was playing Croatia, the Croatian goalkeeper, the Canadian goalkeeper, his background is Croatian. And the fans from Croatia were taunting and booing him. Because
I know.
And these are some of the
effects.
things you see.
Side
And then some of the, if you look at some of the teams that have some black folks, like Switzerland, ordinarily you think of Switzerland as a totally white place, but you have, most of their team, some of their team members now are black. Those people also, so there's always that bad side of soccer, which is discrimination, which is racism.
Even France. France had about ball is filled with black people, and most of these black people are Africans.
Yes, they're African,
I'm telling you,
French descent. Francophone Africans that are full in their teams, and most of the teams are changing. If you look at the European teams, they are changing. They are seeing more and more blacks getting on the teams, but equally doesn't make them accepted by even the people.
That's the truth. Even France that has so much blacks in their team. Do you know the white French people? The country, they don't like it.
Yeah, some of them don't like it.
They don't like it. I know that one. I know.
It's still there. It's unfortunate. Football is supposed to be a unifier, but yes, discrimination still goes on, and that's why when look at the England match, when in Euro the finals, Saka missed a penalty. He got all kinds of hate mail. The guy was like, man, his teammates stood up for him, which is awesome. In the semifinals or quarterfinals, what's his name? Kane missed the equalizing penalty.
Yeah.
And my question on Facebook was, Kane has missed the penalty. Is he going to get the same treatment that Saka did?
Hey, they finished Shambo.
They finished Kane, not like they finished Saka.
Not like they finished Saka, but they dealt with him.
Saka was being hounded.
I know.
Saka own was being hounded. Yes, people were still upset with him, but not to the level of Saka. Saka was death threats. He got death threats. He got, the boy was like, in fact, if he stopped playing for England, it would have been understandable. But he stuck it out there. So it just tells you that things are still there. Discrimination, the hate is still there.
Okay. Yeah, let me move on to the next question, which is again, this is a tricky question, given that women, just like Ade now, she loves football. And so many other women I know that they'll drop everything for football. But I'll still ask this question for the sake of us, people like me who do not like football. How do women feel about the kind of devotion men give to football, even when their country is not playing or has been kicked out? This is a direct question for women. Let me start talking about it. I have been lucky not to have, all my life, I've not had any football fanatic around me. People around me are just okay with football. They watch it when it's there. They don't watch if it's not there. If they don't bother. So I've not had that experience of being shifted to one side for the sake of football. It hasn't happened to me, which is great. So I wouldn't know what others face. And it's really people who have experienced domestic violence and every other sort of conflict as a result of their partners or the people around them loving football. It's okay. It's still open. Any guy can just have a view on this question.
My husband is a fanatic, but when it comes to football, he doesn't support Nigeria. Chakon, he doesn't. He say you don't have that support. Is there any
football? Is there any football he would be watching? And when you come in to ask one question, he'll push you aside. He said, no,
never. He's not that type. No way. A game is a game.
So he cannot drop family commitments for football.
No.
I'm timing, but I just don't want to start going home. And I'll start coming out again. Well, I have no choice.
Rapid, do you want to have a word on this? Chip in something on this.
Then please.
Rapid, are you there? Yeah, you've gone off camera now. Yeah, okay.
Hello, Ify, are you talking to me?
No. Ufuma is there.
Hello, Ify.
Ufuma.
Hello, Ify.
Yeah, Ufuma, are you there?
It's Benson that's asking you if you're talking.
Yeah. No, it was Benson that was asking me earlier. My question is, how do you think women feel about the kind of devotion men give to football, even when their country is not playing? Oh, I think he's got issues with connection.
Well, if I may just step in there.
Yeah, go ahead.
If it's a lady like Arsenal loving, football loving lady like Adi, she won't have any problem. Really, she won't have any problem. Because she understands what it takes to be passionate about football and soccer. But if it's somebody who is not passionate like you, and you have someone who is very passionate about soccer, then yes, you're going to feel quite
humiliated.
Don't use the word humiliated. You might feel ignored, which is what will happen when somebody who's really passionate about sports, soccer, is watching soccer. He doesn't want to be distracted. And also, I think at that point, you equally should be more sensitive to be able to know that your partner needs that time, that 1 hour or 1.5 hours or 2 hours it takes to watch the soccer.
Football
I don't think
time over family issues.
That's
ridiculous. Football time over family issues.
No. If it's a family issue, well, if it's a family issue that's not an emergency, can't he wait? If it's an emergency, of course, there's no doubt about it. Whoever it is should leave what they're doing and face that. But if it's not an emergency and you're just doing that because I know you're a kind of person, you're probably doing that to annoy the person because they're not paying attention.
Exactly. To test the temper.
Yeah, you want to taste the water. And that's not right because it's a deliberate act on your part. So you should be able to, if you also care about the person, also care about what they are passionate about, and be able to leave them for that 1.5 hours to be able to
90 minutes.
Yes, and then come
That's
back.
A long time. What if there's a penalty shootout? Okay, let me ask another lady, Chi. I don't know where you are, if you're one of those that love football more than men, or if you love it equally as men, or if you're like me who don't care about football. Chi, are you there? Oche, where are you? Winnie.
Hold on.
Okay, Chi. Yeah.
I'm not crazy about football, but if my husband is watching football, I'll just give him space to watch football. If I feel like watching with him, fine.
Thank you.
I like that.
Thank you. Good woman.
So you wouldn't feel bad if
No.
she tells you to get, okay, I'm going to sit down. Let me finish this match.
No, I will not do that.
So yeah, because you see, the thing is this, sometimes when you can avoid an issue, why get into it?
Exactly.
And you know that this person is so focused on this thing. Why don't you just, it behoves me when women say, oh, he snapped at me or he shouted at me and all that. But the question lies in, you knew he's watching this game. You knew he's so passionate. Maybe his team is playing. Actually, you should be praying that his team wins. Because when he wins, the kind of endorphin he releases, anything you ask at that time, you're likely to get. Any attention you want, you're gonna get.
Okay, wait. Now let me ask the last question, and it sits well with this thing your last statement, right? So, what is so thrilling about football that men are sometimes willing to sacrifice their relatives or the relative space and enjoyment in their home or relationship? What is this thing? What is exactly? Can you just break it down for me and for people who are listening to us or who watch us later? What is that thrilling thing about football? Question, let me continue. Is it the young men running around the field, chasing the football? Tell me.
Can I answer that thing by saying this? What is thrilling about a woman going into a shop and shopping for 4 hours? What is the thrilling thing?
We'll bring stuff home and wear them.
What is the thrilling thing? You wanted to answer a question, and I'll ask you this. What is thrilling about a woman going into a shop?
I'll answer. Can you give me a moment to answer? Picking those clothes and wearing them to parties. Yes. Tell me what is thrilling about football.
What is thrilling about football is the fact that I'm watching it and I'm enjoying it. I don't have to have any reason for that, right? But the question, the problem is this, the truth of the matter is this. The same way as you will go into a shop and spend 4 hours wandering around the shop, at the end of the day, you pick only 2 clothes out of, like 4 hours of shopping, it's only 2 clothes you pick, or even one, or even none at all. But you spend that whole time and you get the joy of it. Somebody will say, oh, I go to the mall to window shop. You go to the mall and looking at shops, and sometimes at shops you cannot afford to buy, but you enjoy looking at it.
And sometimes you return them after buying.
So are you comparing football to window?
I am comparing it. I'm comparing it because
he's right.
You go around the shops, you grab a window shopping. Oh, Gucci, this bag looks good. Oh, this should be nice. Maybe at the end you don't even buy it. But at the end of the day, you the joy you get from doing all those things. So that's the same way as I'm sitting down and watching young boys running around the field and getting sweaty and all that. That's the same kind of feeling. So that's your answer there.
I'm glad you couldn't really break this down properly.
I broke it down.
Okay, hold on. I want to hear from Willie, then I'll come back to you again on this. Because what you end up doing, Chris is just coming in, is telling me that what thrills you guys, what thrills millions of men and women is just sitting down in their homes and watching their fellow men run around the field, chasing one tiny ball.
The same way as millions of women to go to a shop mall and just look at windows and look at things that they may not be able to afford to buy. They are walking around for 4 hours or 6 hours, as the case may be, and they just get joy out of it. They don't complain. But if they come home to cook for 30 minutes. Oh, I'll be standing on my leg all day. Oh, my feet is hurting me. But you can go to the mall and shop for 6 hours. Your feet will never hurt you. That's the same kind of joy. Okay,
let's know what Chris has to say, because we have 10 minutes before we go. Chris, thanks for joining. And now we're talking about. I want to believe that you're one of them, soccer lovers, football lovers. I'm not.
I just joined. What's the topic?
It's football. We're talking about soccer and football. Okay. And we've asked so many questions, including what effects the football have in the society. Does it bring families together? And now we're talking about what is so thrilling about football that men are sometimes willing to sacrifice the relative peace in their homes and relationships. What is that?
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everyone. Yeah, sorry, I just joined now. But football or soccer is just a game. It's a form of entertainment. It shouldn't be something that's serious that, will come, to divide a family. You should know your boundaries, when you carry it too far, and, just like every other thing we do, you know where to draw the line. I am not that fanatic, or a slave to anything to the extent that, you break relationship or so. But, different folks and different strokes. So they know how to, some people take it as their life, even when they don't have any stake in it. But I don't think you should be.
Would you consider yourself a football? Actually, let me rephrase it. What team do you support?
What team do I support? I support the Washington Commanders for football, American football. I'm not. I don't follow Euro League or so. To that extent that. No, I don't.
So do you miss matches, or do you have your time and must watch my football?
I don't watch at all. That's soccer. When you say soccer.
Yeah.
But I'm here. I watch basketball. I watch American football.
Yeah, but not soccer.
Not soccer, unless it gets to World Cup level. And maybe Nigeria is playing, for some country, but not to the extent. I'm not that fan to the extent that it's going to, I can miss a game or so. Either way it goes, I don't really care.
Okay, I'm not too far from you because I don't care. I said no matter how they play football, whether on a chocolate, on a biscuit, it doesn't appeal to me at all.
It does appeal to me, don't get me wrong, football, American football, basketball, when I'm invested in a team. But not to the extent, I think that's, the topic of today, to ruin or mar relationship. If I'm watching Merit and somebody wants to disturb me, I'm into it, I will react the same way. I will react if it's a football game.
You.
So not because it's a football or soccer.
Yes.
If I'm invested in watching a program and you want to distract me at that time, I will get, mad, but not to the extent that, if you cook food, I won't eat food after food or whatever it is, it's just going to end there. So just
but I do think you share the same passion with as Chris. No, I don't think so.
No, my
You love
passion
football
is
more than him.
I love American football. I root for the New England Patriots. For basketball, Raptors. But like I'm not a fanatic in the sense that I love to watch my game. Obviously, if Arsenal is playing, but even if Arsenal loses or wins, I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to stop eating because of that. I'm not going to, or things happen, right? So yeah, with that one with Chris, I'm like that. But what I only said is, if you have a spouse who likes watching something and they're watching it, you should also respect that fact that they're doing that and let them enjoy what they're doing. That it doesn't take you more than 1 hour or 2 hours for that thing to finish. Let them enjoy it. Women have a knack of pushing that boundaries, or especially when they don't enjoy the sports you are watching. They're not into sports, and they think you're spending so much time watching. And I'm like, this is just for 1.5 hours. What's the, you have the rest of 23 hours to deal with the guy. Why don't just allow that 1.5 hours? So it could cause problems when there should not be any problem. It's something you have to understand. And the beauty of it also, like I said, two parties can try to get interested in what the other party, like if your husband likes to watch American football, sit down once in a while and just get the rudiments of the game. You might not be talking, but you might just watch. Even if you're not following the game, you might just be there. He might appreciate your presence. The same thing as a man who I don't like watching what do you call it? All those
Housewives of Atlanta.
Housewives or this or the Telemundo. I hate that one with a passion, but I can come and sit down and just pretend like I'm
You like it.
like there. But I hate it with a passion. But then it shows also that you care enough about the person.
Let me say this, Ike. Don't come to seek attention when I'm watching game.
Thank you.
Don't come to seek attention when I'm watching the rich also cry. So you know your space, know your place. We are not competing with all those things. That I have 30 minutes or 1 hour to watch football. Is that football more important to me? Oh, exactly. Yes, it is.
It is. At that point, it is.
It is. Don't ever, if you are not sure of where your position, your place, don't ever say, is it more important than you at that time? But if there is something that requires immediate attention at that time, I will attend to it. But just for the sake of I'm watching football, you're not giving me attention. At that 1 hour, oh, come on, man, go and sit down.
My question again is, what is thrilling about football? What is that thing you see when you watch? Is it when we watch those old men, young men running around the field and chasing the
Chris, I answered that. I told her, I said, what is thrilling about walking around the mall for 4 hours, window shopping? What is thrilling about that?
I don't know what is thrilling about anything that thrills you.
Oh.
The benefits of it. What's the benefit of watching the football? Tell me.
What's the benefit? It's an entertainment. It's soccer.
It lowers blood pressure.
It's a game.
No, it's on the opposite. It increases your blood pressure.
Because no, it doesn't. I'm not that invested. Remember this American commentator that died after that quarterfinal game or so.
Yeah, he was watching the game.
Something. Yeah, I'm not that invested that I'm going to. You can see me kicking up and down, kicking my legs, left and right, do this, do that. But that's to that extent yet. I'm not that invested that I'm going to rupture a brain or one of the arteries, trying to, even if Nigeria is playing, that's me.
Yeah. Anyway,
not for anything, but hey.
There are the good sides. Chris, before you joined, we talked about the effects on the society, and we picked on so many positives in view of the career options. It's put out there for people, young people. But for me, on the other side, I did make that comment and I asked the question, who he help? Who he help? You mean
the football?
Football, like some young people refuse to turn to academics anymore because they want to be footballers.
Unless you are playing, you are that talented. But if you are talking the importance of those things, it's an industry.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
an industry.
Those are the
because
effects in the society. Yeah.
here you have, I live like less than 5 minutes away to Washington Commanders, where each day they are playing games. There are other things, you have vendors, you have, there are a lot of things that,
Yep.
these people earn an income. It's a very large industry. To that extent, it's very vital, economically, socially, a lot of things. But
we touched on, Chris, we touched on the, not the, how the short-sightedness of most of these players when they retire. Obviously, they retire at a very young age and they end up poor because of lack of financial education, lack of channeling their wealth at that time correctly. Because we have lots of cases of where famous professional footballers or famous footballers today cannot even help themselves, let alone helping any other person. So I talked a lot about that, and about the new thing, or the vogue in educating professional footballers when they start making their money on how to invest to help them sustain their livelihood after retirement. Oh,
yeah, that trend is changing. Most of them are really investing their money. It used to be before, when they retire, they are broke. But now, most of them are investing, and they now have life after the sport. Either some of them, went to school, so they are better soccer, football, or whatever analyst. So they have jobs in the television industry and also. So that's where you recruit them. So yeah, most of them are, and then some of them are coaches. So either junior league or all these high school.
After retirement, yeah.
Yes. So most of them are really, having a good life.
No doubt, there's lots of positives to that industry at the moment, compared to back in the days when it was seen as a rascal trade. Anybody that in the football field then was a rascal on a bubble, got school. But today, if done properly, they go to school, they make money, they do charities, and they support all sorts of projects, as well as support themselves in the society. So we could give thumbs up to football. And following the World Cup, I'll be honest with you, because I am really, really not interested in football. I don't even know who is who, let alone my dear England has been kicked out, I believe.
Yeah, the quarterfinal stages.
So where are we now? Where are we now? Are we in the quarterfinals or?
No, they've just done the third place match. So tomorrow will be the finals.
Wow. Between who and who?
Between Argentina and France.
Argentina and France.
Holders against Argentina. Hopefully, Messi might break his duck this time around and be able to win the World Cup for Argentina.
I'm rooting for France anyway.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for Argentina just for the fact that growing up, Argentina has always been a country known for football.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the only reason why Argentina will just come into my head. But I assure you, I will not watch it. I will not know. I may have to send you a message or send messages to both of you and ask you who won. If I don't hear it from some other person. Yeah, I'm not interested at all.
I'm in the mood,
I will watch it because it's like watching Super Bowl. You might not see the goals, but you'll be drinking and shouting with your friends. That's the social side of it.
Yeah. The last time UK played, or England played, sorry, we were out to one of the Nigerian restaurants, Kuramo Lounge, somewhere in East London.
Yeah.
Our old girls. We had our end of year party and they were playing. When England scored, you cannot imagine how the girls there. It was just an all girls affair anyway.
Yeah.
How they screamed. I was like, Jesus. And they lost concentration until England was kicked out. That was when people concentrated and we dealt with the business of the day. We were all distracted just because of football. So I can't even put football the way we used to believe it's for men. Not anymore. Adi was here.
No.
Was here.
Oh, no, it's no longer for men.
Yeah, it's not for men anymore.
Yeah, women are more passionate these days. It's if you are into it, you are into it. It's no longer. They have women, professional women's soccer teams and all those things. So
it's no longer a man's sport.
Asking that question, do the women footballers do World Cup as well?
Yes.
So next year will be the female World Cup.
Nigeria is doing very well.
Yes, Nigeria is playing the female World Cup next year.
Next year, okay.
Yes.
Maybe that will interest me, possibly.
That'll be
Anyway,
nice.
I think we've come to the end of today's show. Thank you very much. When we posted the topic, people were asking, Oche Kitchen and football. What do women talk about football? I know there are women that love, Winifred loves football as well. I think I'm the only one. Ijoma doesn't, I don't think so. Ojugo, maybe, maybe not. But Winnie is a football lady. I'm not. But we love the footballers and we love football. Well, we're kind people. So I'll have sympathy for our dear ones, Chris. Ike, Benson. Benson is not too keen. He was here earlier on. Adibeli, to everybody that loves football, we root for you. We're there with you. And Argentina and France, we look forward to the World Cup final tomorrow. Whoever wins should go home with the cup. We wish them good luck. Thank you very much for being a part of today's show. And we'll meet again same time next week.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chris. Thanks, Ike. Thanks, Shi. And Adi, everybody that was part of it today. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Next weekend, are you guys having a show next weekend? Is Christmas Eve?
That's Christmas Eve. Yes, possibly. But if not, in between, we'll send a message.
Okay.
Yes, probably, yeah.
Okay. Have a good one.
Yeah. I guess everybody you're not going to Nigeria, you, Chris? Let me
No,
go
I'm here.
offline, actually.